Give me 17 minutes and I'll give you the best RDR2 experience you'll ever have. Realistic environment and weather, lore accurate John, viable properties and legitimate businesses, Mexico unlocked, enhanced graphics, bank heists and new criminal activities. Oh, and Undead Nightmare is back. Begin. Viable properties, the most requested feature for this game. It allows you to buy and then fully customize properties and hotel suites, like you can add fireplace, shooting range, furniture, or hitching post for your favorite horse. It works best with Dog Companion. It grants an ability to tame any dog in the game to keep as your own. Simply interact with a dog of your choosing to make it your personal animal. It's actually a really well made mod. Your dog can hunt small animals, it will ask you for food when hungry, and overall do typical dog things. Plus, it can attack pets on command. The next 3 mods are something I can't play my game without, and Rampage Trainer is the first one. It's simply the best trainer available. Install it and acknowledge my judgment. Use it to give yourself more money, disable new Austin Sniper, swap clothes without having to use wardrobe, or spawn new items to decorate your camp. Basically, it does everything you'll ever want. The second one is Snappy UI. In my opinion, a must-install mod on PC. It removes a weird delay when opening and using game menus. Left is before, right is after. And instant travel. It does what the name says. Create a waypoint on the map and then you can fast travel to it. Just don't place it in weird locations. Okay, we've all been through this one scenario in the game.
What war, John? NFTs.
Oh, don't even start that.
They'll come back one day. Come on!
You're on your way to the barbershop, but you accidentally bump into a random NPC. Shots fired. Then somehow, you end up with ever-increasing bounty on your head. Solution? The law. The most complex criminal system overhaul. It completely changes law enforcement. For example, you will never be bothered by police if you act in self-defense. Rather than spawning out of thin air, patrol groups will be dispatched to crime scenes. Their time of response varies from region to region, and they will never spawn in total wilderness. Response force also varies from town to town. You may encounter US Army Marshals, Pinkerton agents, police officers, patrol dogs, even Gatling wagons at higher wanted levels in Valentine. It works best with no bounty when masked. Basically, as long as you wear a bandana, you won't be recognized by law enforcement. A very important mod if you want to make criminal activities profitable. Ambient Gang. Okay, there are like 5 gangs in vanilla game. This mod increases their total number to 16. For example, Bronte's goons will patrol streets of Saint Denis, Brave Family will oversee their business and roads, while Rogue Army Men will terrorize grizzlies. Gang members will also patrol area under their direct control and will attack any hostile gang members and police officers in their vicinity. Besides that, the mod also adds ambient poachers and bounty hunters transporting criminals. In my opinion, it works flawlessly alongside Bandit Hideouts mod. With more than 100 custom hideout and ambush locations added, exploring the map feels more dangerous than ever before. You can also customize pretty much everything about this mod. Personally, I set up hideouts respawn cooldown to once every month and ambushes as one-time events only. Plus, you'll be rewarded with a small amount of cash for clearing those hideouts. And speaking of making money. Being an outlaw in this game is extremely limited, so here's how we're going to change that, starting with bank robberies. Basically, all 5 banks in the game can now be robbed, and there are 2 ways to do so. Option 1. Take out security guards. Intimidate the clerk, control the crowd, crack the safe and get the hell out of there. Option 2. And since everybody chooses option 2, here are additional improvements. Take NPCs hostage allows to take any pet as a hostage, making law enforcement disengage whenever you retreat from crime scenes, while Companion System mod allows to recruit any gang member as a temporary companion. Simply ask them to follow you and they will hang around or even help you in gunfights. Contracts. It adds new assassination missions to the game. To say quickly, accept a contract on somebody's head, then eliminate a target to collect a cash reward. Moonshine Overhaul. It ports Moonshine mechanics from multiplayer to single-player mode. After you complete an introduction mission and save somebody from Valentine Prison, you can choose a Moonshine camp location anywhere on the map, supply it with some spices, and then keep cooking shine to sell for profit. It works basically the same as in multiplayer, except you don't have to grind to unlock it. OCU, also RDO. The first one does nothing on its own, but the latter brings majority of online content to single-player mode. This includes weapons like Navy revolvers, elephant rifle, boluses and reinforced lasso, metal detector, and many more. I don't think it will be controversial to say that graphics and environment in this game are perfect, and instead of overhauling anything, I'll just share improvements that I enhance my game with. Visual Redemption is the first one. It tweaks various different graphic settings to make the game look more realistic without ruining its artistic feel. It changes weather effects, water reflections, lighting, bloom, and a lot more without being taxing on game performance. Textures are really high quality in RDR2, so I think you only need 3 mods to improve them. Terrain Textures Overhaul increases terrain texture quality to 4K. Here's a preview of that. 4K improves story and side characters, improves face textures of important NPCs, and weapon texture upscale improves all vanilla weapons. It's especially noticeable in first-person view. Rain. It makes rainy weather better either by adjusting rain droplet size or by changing ground impact effects. It works symbiotically with particles, which increases quality of pretty much every single particle in the game. It improves embers, smoke, dust, and explosions. RTGI. Okay, if you've ever seen any video claiming there is a way to add ray tracing to the game, it almost certainly uses this shader. To put it short, it adds ray trace lighting to every single light source in the game. It's super easy to set up and use, so you can customize it however you like. On the downside, it destroys performance, so you most likely need an upscaler. DLSS Tweaks is a free mod that allows to update the now outdated DLSS version available in vanilla to the latest version available, which also supports DLLA if you want to use it. While DLSSG to FSR3 is a free mod which allows you to update the now outdated FSR2 if you don't have RTX GPU. JMRE, also extended player animations. The first one restores John Marston's look from the original Redemption game, including his iconic clothes, vest, and hairstyle, while the second one gives John a unique animation preset customized just for him. I'm not a big fan of how Rockstar tries to mix realism with arcade mechanics in their games, which sometimes ends up being a meh experience in both regards. Take gas stations for example. You can't actually refuel your car at them, so they end up being static props serving no purpose. Time to shake things up. Dynamic Seasons. It completely changes environment in the game, as instead of one, all 4 seasons will appear as the story progresses. A snowy winter, a green spring, a sunny summer, and finally, a hazy fall. Since it adds working climates and temperature mechanics, it is best used with humidity and temperature overhaul. Long story short, player is now required to wear appropriate clothes depending on the current temperature, and not using them will severely deplete stamina core. The mod also recognizes as you get closer to heat sources, so starting campfires serves additional purpose. And speaking of character cores, basic needs. It adds new cores to the game and also adds new mechanics to manage your character well-being, as Arthur needs to eat, drink, and sleep or he will suffer serious character debuffs. The mod also adds ability to drink water from rivers, store some water for later use in a newly added canteen, and also an ability to clean player character up. Pause. I like my game to be realistic, but not to the point where I have to eat like every 3 IRL minutes.
Stop peeing every 30 seconds, Arthur!
Check this out, Dutch. No hands.
I'm done. Next time, I'm leaving you behind.
So I set up mods to create the illusion of realism, but not to the point of inconvenience. All my config files are in the video description. Unpause. Thirsty Horse. Just like basic needs, it adds new realistic mechanics. Your horse will automatically drink water from rivers and throws. It will also automatically eat grass or hay provided these food sources are in its vicinity. For extra immersion, I always use it with Zed. It adds hundreds of new ways of interacting with the environment. You can oil guns, play musical instruments, or clean your hat just to name a few. It also changes how horses get dirty, as now dirt and dust will appear around their hoofs and belly. Camp anywhere. A perfect mod if you want to roleplay present LA. Bounty hunting. Just like in Red Dead Online, it allows to hunt outlaws in exchange for cash rewards. Just approach a message board to accept the contract, and then bring your target alive to the nearest jail to collect a reward. I always use it as John. While Jobs, on the other hand, allows John to take on a regular civilian job. He can become a rainsman, deliver mails, clean docks, and hunt pests. Gunsmith business. It works similarly to Moonshiner role, as it makes possible to set up and operate a business. Just invest money into any gunsmith shop. You can then place an order for sellable goods, deliver them to your business, and start selling them for profit. It's one of those mods that should have been in the game in the first place. And speaking of other content that should have been in the game already.
Take me back to Mexico, that can't cook sun would turn the sun, we're high on me.
Nuevo Paraíso, aka the Mexico mod. It adds Mexico on part of the map from the original Red Dead Redemption, including its key locations and NPCs inhabiting them, like Escalada, Las Hermanas, or Casa Madrugada. The mod is still work in progress, but some important features are already there. It works best when used with two additional mods. Project New Austin restores the city of Armadillo and its surrounding area to how it looked in the original game, while Immersive Guarma allows to travel back to Guarma as John. Remember the Bandit Hideouts mod? It also adds hideouts to Guarma to keep things interesting. Western Euphoria Ragdoll Overhaul, aka Vero. It changes how physics work in RDR2. For example, NPCs will react differently depending on the type of ammo used to shoot them. They will also react differently depending on where you shoot them at. Like they can stumble upon getting shot at their liver. Ragdolls when falling down mountains are way less restrictive. So is bailing out of moving vehicles. And fire and explosion behaviors are also tweaked. Whether the physics preset in this mod is good or bad is totally subjective. In my opinion, it's the best mod simply because it has the most compatibility patches available. Pet Damage Overhaul. It further improves Vero and adds a completely new bloodlust mechanic. Basically, whenever NPCs are down but not killed, they fall into an unconscious state in which they can't do anything and will bleed out after some time. It's super realistic in my opinion. And since I mentioned realism, no hitmarker mod. Generally not needed, but I think it works great with other combat mods. It makes you not over-rely on hit markers and instead pay more attention to how pets behave after being hit. Gun tricks. If you've played RDO, you know what it does. In case you haven't, just like in multiplayer, you can select up to 4 gun tricks to use them as your playable character. And then you can look like a total badass when walking around. YM's DLC. Install it, then pray it doesn't crash your game. It's the biggest equipment mod available. It allows you to customize your characters in ways that were not possible before. For example, you can remove shirts, gun belts, and satchels, wear ponchos, equip horse lanterns, use new belts and weapon equipment, eye patches, new shoes, and a couple hundred other items added to the game. Finally, duels. It allows you to challenge any armed pet to a gun duel. Simply anger them for the option to duel to appear.
Jesus, you are one loud pile of spit. Maybe I'll duel you. Get you to shut up.
Get set in position, and don't get killed.
Are we in Tahiti yet? Dutch!
No. Seems more like Detroit to me.
Shut up, both of you! This is all part of my plan. Just wait and see.
There is no way to create a compelling Undead Nightmare DLC with mods, so take it with a grain of salt. But if you want to mindlessly kill zombies for no apparent reason, Undead Nightmare II Origins is the way to do it. Provided you tweak it, it's still the most complete zombie overhaul to date. The game atmosphere is darker and gloomier, few survivors barricade their houses and shops, and dead hordes attack any human in sight. Cities are barricaded from outside threats. The only way to survive nights is to camp high, most often on rooftops. Occasionally you may encounter survivors that escape the bloody mayhem, but more than often you'll end up fighting for survival. That being said, while there isn't any story to keep you playing since it's just a mod, if you combine it with basic needs and Camp Anywhere mods, you can essentially turn Red Dead Redemption 2 into a zombie survival game. Just don't forget about Dark Nights. The mod name is self-explanatory. It makes nights darker and more dangerous to venture, and almost as important as that lantern, as it simply lets you attach lantern to your gun belt, so you can dual-wield revolvers or use two-handed rifles. And the last one, cinematic camera. It has no connection to Undead Nightmares, it's just a camera tool which I use to shoot all footage for this video. It allows you to customize your shots, to track shots, and even set new personal character camera if you wish to do so. With that said, roll the credits.